So, you want to be a contractor. Ever wonder what it takes to become a contractor? The journey they go on to get where they are now, or the crazy things they see and hear on the job site? Well, you're in the right spot. Welcome to So You Want to Be a Contractor, the podcast. Join your host, Mike Fisher, as he talks to owners of construction companies from all over about how they got started, how they run their business, and some of the craziest stories they've experienced on their job sites. And now, your host, Mike Fisher.
Welcome to So You Want to Be a Contractor. This is episode number 36. My name is Mike Fisher. Co-host over there is Maricela. Say hi, Maricela. How you doing?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're listening to this, this is Maricela at Chica with a new generation home improvement. And Mike, if you can't see him, you should, because he's combed his hair today. It looks like gel, people. It's no worth hat. The YouTube. Go
no hat.
And watch
Check out
Mike with no hat.
This might be the one and only episode without a hat on. You're welcome, people. You're welcome. Our guest today, president at G&J Signs, is Jose Almanza. How you doing, Jose?
Good. Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the show. We appreciate you taking the time. This is a last-minute pinch hit, too. Jose's partner, Alex, was the one that signed up to do this, and then threw Jose in about 7 minutes before we started.
I have a good feeling about this. I have a good feeling about this. This is a Kirk Gibson moment. This is a Kirk Gibson moment. Get your fist ready, Jose.
Let's get started with your story. How did you get into this industry? Were you always doing signs? What brought you to where you are now, running this?
To tell us what you do. So for the listeners that don't know what you do, what is your business? What areas are you servicing? And then get into how'd you get into it?
Okay, yeah, I've been in the business for about 18 years. I started in 2004. And right now I'm an electrical sign contractor. I do most of our work. It's installations for out-of-state companies that sell their signs here locally. And we're just, they ship them out to us and we'll install them. We also manufacture and service our own customers. So.
Awesome.
How'd you get into signs, Jose?
Where were you at in 2004? What were you getting into?
2004,
signs?
I was a convenience store owner.
Okay.
So, and it was funny because I ordered a neon sign from this guy that came out and came to the store and offered me a sign for my window. So I ordered him a sign, and when he delivered, I saw him getting off the bus carrying his window sign, and I thought it was weird. I told him, "Why are you riding the bus?" He was like, "Well, you know what? I have my own shop. I have a little shop that it's behind my insurance company, and I do my own signs. And I actually needed an investor that helped me out, to grow the business. So he invited me to come out of his shop and check it out. So I went by there. I checked what he was doing, and I thought he knew what he was doing. So that attracted me, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. So I invested some money. We bought a 1985 Toyota pickup to start with, with a ladder rack. We put a ladder rack on it.
Hold on, Jose. But at this point, you are a convenience store owner.
Right.
So like a corner liquor store?
Yeah.
Yes, it was one of those Mexican corner stores, little stores in East LA. And we sell meat, produce. I had a little restaurant inside and beer. So
those are my favorite. They always have the best
know anything about. Didn't have any clue about signs.
So you're running
go ahead, let's go back. The guy gets off the bus and says, "I need money," and you say yes. Like, there's got to be more to that story than that, right? Like,
yeah. Well, he kind of.
Is it the first time you've seen him? This is like love at first sight. You had to go, like you had to see about a girl, like.
Right. I mean, he went by like a couple of weeks before, and he says, "Don't you want a window sign? Because you need a window sign. You have no signs on your window." So I said, "You know what? Yeah, make me one that says mariscos in Spanish, which means seafood." I said, "Okay." So I give him half. So I thought I had lost my deposit because he took longer than what he said, So I was like, "Oh, you know what? I lost my money already." But yeah, one time I was in the parking lot, standing outside the store, and I saw him getting off the bus carrying the sign, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's this guy doing on the bus? So that's when I asked him, hey, why are you riding the bus? So then he proposed me to invest some money. I went by there, and like I said, I went a couple of times trying to make sure that he was running his business, and obviously I didn't want to just throw in money in it. But I seen that he knew what he was doing. So, he knew most of the manufacturing. He was bending his own neon. The glass, he would bend the glass and everything in the shop.
Wow.
So the
That's an
first
art
thing
form.
yep. And the first thing I tried to learn was how to sell the product because I didn't really have clue of what to do in the shop, how to install, how to service, none of that. So, but the first thing I learned was how to sell the product. He was in the shop, manufacturing. I was going out to the business offering signs. Back then, it
So,
was neon only. We didn't make anything else. It was just neon.
so Jose, how did you get into the convenience store? Like, was that a generational store, or did you just buy that and you made a convenience store? How did you maintain both businesses? Are you still selling mariscos out of the store? Like, what's the deal with this? Tell me about your store. Did you just want
I
to own
sold
a
the store.
business?
Right. The store I started with, that was my little store that I would go and buy carne and our stuff for like daily use.
Yeah.
And one time I walk into the store and the carniceria, the meat department was closed. So I asked the guy, it was an Indian guy, and I asked him, Amigo, what happened with the meat? And he said, you know what? I'm not making money. The butchers are stealing from me, so I'm not making money on the meat. So I say, okay, rent me that spot, and I sell my own meat. And he
I'm,
was
I'm
he
picking up
was
on a
like,
trend, Mike. Are you picking up on a
Right?
trend?
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
picking up on a trend here.
yeah.
Jose
So
is an
I had a
opportunist.
I had a compadre that was a butcher,
Okay.
and I told him about it because he had proposed me to start our own business. So when I saw that opportunity, I called him and I said, "Hey, compadre, you know what? Here's the store in the corner. They closed the meat department. So why don't you and I rent it out?" So we went and checked it out, and we talked to the guy. So we ended up getting into a contract for a year. So we started selling our own meat. We had our own cashier there so that we could charge for our meat separately from whatever else in the store. And a couple of years later, we bought the store. He put the store for sale because luckily, after the year, we extend our lease 5 years because we replaced the machinery and the meat department.
The
So
How
display
much
and
we
all that
couldn't
about
stuff.
how
send
much
money.
about being a carcinero did you know? How much about being a butcher did you know before you were like, "Hey, compadre, let's go do this"?
I didn't know. I was a truck driver back then. But
Here's what's
I,
great.
I always I always had
There's
in
so
my
many
mind that
people. There's so many people that look back in life and be like, man, what if I just said yes to that one thing? Like, what if I just took that one opportunity?
Jose
Not
said
Jose, man.
yes.
right,
He just says yes to
right.
everything. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
you're trying to
you know
get, you
what?
need a butcher? Yeah, I can do that for sure.
Give me
Right,
a knife.
right.
Oh, you
Give
need
me a knife.
neon? You
I
need a
got
guy
it.
sell neon signs? Yeah, I can do that.
I can do
Yeah,
it.
let me do that.
I could
Yeah.
do it. I
Yeah.
could do it. Do you need a guy who can transport the meat in the neon signs?
Yeah.
I could do that
Now
too.
it's all coming full
That's
circle, right?
right.
Because now you can move your signs all over the place.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
goodness.
So I always had in my mind that I wanted to have my own business. I didn't want to work for someone
I
else,
can
But
tell.
back then
Yeah.
I was. So yeah, that's how we started on the store. So and then
Jose, where did you grow
after
up? Where did you grow up?
where I grew up in Mexico, and I came here when I was 17 years old,
Viva.
1988.
Viva.
So I came here by myself, and you should know my story. I had to be homeless. I was sleeping under a bridge for a few days when I got here, not
That's it
knowing
right
anybody.
there. That's it right there.
Yep,
That's the money.
Yep.
That's the Kirk Gibson moment. So
Yep.
you're an immigrant. You come to this
yes,
country. I'm assuming you don't know the language. You're by
right,
yourself at 17 years old, and for a period of time, you're homeless. And I'm talking to
right.
you 25, 30 years later, and you own your own business.
That's
If that
correct.
isn't the American freaking dream, Jose,
And not only owning his own business is at least the second. I don't know if there's another one in there, but like at least your second business that you've owned already.
This is the
Are you
second
still
business.
are you still running the shop? The
store.
the store?
What was the name
The
of your store,
store
first
is
of all?
Los Compadres Meat Market. So
So creative.
since we started
All right,
Los
we'll
Compadres, that
give
was
you an
the
A
name
for
of the business.
opportunity.
This is straight up Boyle Heights.
Yeah.
This is straight up Boyle Heights.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
Okay, so
Do you still own it?
No, I sold it in 2019, right before
Okay.
the pandemic. So, and now I got into the real estate business. So,
Of course, why not?
and
And let me guess, you knew nothing about real estate before you got into that business too, right?
exactly, exactly.
Okay, I got a truck driver who used to cut meat, who owned a convenience store named Los Compadres, who got into the sign business and is now into real estate. Okay, we could talk for a lot of time on all of those different businesses, but we'll try and bring it back to the contracting part. And I think real estate is very much related
No, it's
because
for
we
sure
don't,
involved, yeah.
right? So there was a period of time where you were doing both Los Compadres and you were trying to start this sign business with. Is
Right.
Alex your partner? Is Alex the guy who?
Alex is
Yes,
the guy
he's my
from the bus,
partner
right?
on the sign business. Yes.
But he
So-
wasn't the
Came
guy
into
from
the
the bus,
business-
right?
No.
Okay.
Alex came in to join the company 6 years ago.
Okay.
So the
I had it
original
already
guy.
running.
So is it three of you guys then? So where's the guy that came off the bus that sold you the sign?
Oh, he's gone. I have a really long story, and it's weird because 2 years after we partnered up and we got the business going, I come into the shop, and guess what? Shop was empty. The guy was gone with everything.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yes. And
So what? I
mean,
mean, did you have to start all over?
I had to start all over. And the reason
And
why I kept the business.
Why stick with signs though? You've got so much experience doing all this other stuff. This guy just took everything from you. Why
Yes,
stick with signs?
Back then I was thinking about quitting, so I went back to the landlord and I said, you know what, this is what happened to me. I don't need the space anymore. And he was like, no, wait, guy, we have a 5-year lease, so you can sublease it or do whatever you want with the spot, but guess what, you're gonna have to
You're responsible. Yeah.
be responsible for the 3.5 years that we had left. So I had a guy that was working with us already, and he kind of learned a little bit of what we do and the shop, the manufacturing part. So he said, "Why don't you, just buy the tools back, and I'll keep on doing whatever we're doing on the shop. I'll do the manufacturing." I was like, okay. I tried to lease it out, but I didn't have anyone interested on the spot, so I was kind of forced to continue with it. I said, you know
Yeah.
what, let's give it a shot. Let's give it another year, and if it doesn't work, then we'll just give up on it.
Hold on.
Jose,
Shameless
yeah,
plug.
yeah.
Shameless plug. Hold on, real quick. Did you have insurance theft to
I was
cover all
just
that
going to go
stuff?
there, Mike.
And or did you have to pay for all this stuff on your own?
Oh no, I had to pay for all the stuff on my own.
Okay.
I didn't
so
realize
let's
that all
stop.
that.
So
Yeah.
Jose, how going through that experience, that's devastating. That breaks a person's back. People, if they're not named Jose Almanza, don't come back from that, right? Like they go find a job. But
Right.
for people for individuals, for contractors who are starting a business or in a business where they have a partnership and it's a very early in the partnership, how should they go about having that experience? What would you recommend they do to protect themselves so they don't show up one day and everything's gone from the shop?
Right. I wish I knew, but I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know we needed an insurance and all of that stuff. So I would recommend to, since the beginning, do things right, especially if get your
What
own
does that look
insurance.
like? Okay.
Once you start your business, make sure you insure what you're starting with, your vehicles, everything, get it insured. So you're protected because, you lose everything and then it takes long time again to, restart again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. And then that breaks your heart too and makes you not trust people anymore.
Yeah, makes you
Yes.
I'm a
jaded for
pretty
sure.
trusty person, so you're after that you're scared of every single one that is around you. You're like, oh, you don't
Yeah.
want to do business with partners anymore.
Right.
But it didn't block me from continue trying to make it happen. If I have to be partnered with someone to make it happen, then I'm willing to do it and take the risk rather
Yeah.
than say, you know what, I don't want to be partnered with anyone. I'll just stick on my job and I'll do what I can.
Yeah.
That
You
wasn't
know,
that wasn't my thinking.
there's definitely financial damage and there's emotional damage to that. And
Right.
Mike, if you could underscore, just so that we can try and understand this better for as a resource, what should people be doing if they're thinking about a partnership? How do they correct themselves? Can you speak to some of the things that you offer?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just finding trusted partners, right? I mean, it's insurance is a piece of it, but I mean, there's CPAs,
Lawyers?
right? There's attorneys, there's HR
Right.
consultants, there's all
Hmm.
different types of partners, but that's what it is, right? It's trusted partners because you, especially when it's just you and your partner, right? And you guys are kind of bootstrapping and you're early on, and you're not, a 50 employee company with 10 people in the office. It's just you and your
Right.
partner. You guys, like I said, you're out there bootstrapping and busting your butt in the business every day. Those people around you are the ones that are supposed to be watching out for you, right? Like your insurance guy
Right.
is supposed to understand your business to the point where he knows and can go to you and say, "Hey, Jose, you've got $250,000 worth of equipment and material in your shop, and you're only covered for 50,000 of it. If it burns down or is
Right.
stolen, like you're screwed, right? Like so
Yeah.
that
Right.
kind of
Right.
stuff." And your attorney
Hmm.
that says, "Hey, set up." Whatever kind of agreement between the two partnerships. That way, if one of you leaves or buys out or whatever, just so that all that stuff is covered, and that's where those trusted partners come in. So
Yeah.
it's finding those people that you can trust to kind of help you with those things that you shouldn't really have to understand, know, or be involved in on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So how do you get to the place again? So I'm assuming how much time goes by, Jose, where you're like, all right, I'm just going to start this again before you decide to partner up? Because there's a lot of emotional damage and collateral that happens when you get abandoned that way. Why did you decide to take on another partner, and what did that do for your business?
After running the business for like 12 years by myself, I figured that I needed someone in the office that it needed to be part owner of the company, because that way they'll be
Invested just like you are.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
So they'll be watching for the company. They'll be watching everything, because I had good people working for me in the office, but they would finish their 8 hours, they go home, and that's it. Everything will fall on my back. And I
Yeah.
needed someone to be in the office, taking care of everything while I was gone out on the field. I'm the one that goes out on the field, supervise the guys when we're doing the jobs, and make sure everything is done correctly. So at
yep,
the end
Yeah.
of the jobs, I always go there, check the job, make sure everything was done right, everything is working, but at the same time, I needed someone to be running the office, because every time I was gone from the office, the business would stop on the office. I couldn't be sending any reports, getting any new jobs, any of that.
Yeah.
So I figured I mean, I could have hired someone, but like I said, the people that I had was pretty good people there, but they just worked their 8 hours and that's it. They wouldn't care for the company
yeah,
as
Yeah.
if you're part owner of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bringing somebody
Absolutely.
like Alex on, how much did that allow you to grow? Was it more just managing what you had, or did that give you the ability to grow your business and actually create a little bit more revenue?
Right. We grow our business from 700,000 a year. That was the most I did, and that was back in 2015. That was my best year. We went from 700,000 to 1.5, 1.6 million
Excellent.
after
Wow.
I got Alex into the business. So we
That's
grew up a
awesome.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
really impressive what happens when you walk into, because look, taking on a partner at that point, that's a vested person. There's an investment in that. And as a business owner, you can absolutely stay stuck in worrying about like, what is this going to do to my business? Like, how is it going to hurt it? But when you take that leap and you find the right person, you doubled in size in 1 year. Is that what I just heard you say?
Right, right. And he was pretty expensive. He started working with me for a year, and then I decided to bring him as a partner. And he was an expensive, that was my most expensive employee in the company. But I knew that I was, get way more in return. Sometimes you kind of scared to bring a good employee aboard because you said, I can't afford them. Yes, we can afford good people because they're going to bring you more money to the business. So that's going to
Yes.
give you the availability to pay them what they're asking for. And
Yep.
sometimes we don't get the good employees or partners because we don't want to pay them what they're worth. Some people they're worth
Yeah.
what they're asked for, but we're thinking that we're not going to be able to pay for it. But we can cover
Well,
it,
I
of
love that you have
course.
that mentality that your employees are investments, right? Like they're not
Yeah.
just numbers or people that are a burden on your company because they have a payroll, but they're an investment. Like
Yeah.
you've wrapped your mind around that concept, which allows you to use them to their ability to help you grow, which I think is a key kind of mindset for anyone running a business.
It's a key mindset, and it's a good reminder for all of us listening to this and talking about this, that when you find the right person, double
Right.
down.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
if it's the right person, they're going to hold their value and then bring even more to the business. Doubling your business, that's really impressive. So, Jose, can we go into what your sales process looks like? So you come into this business, you join out of no experience of your own, and you say that you're the guy that's going out there selling the signs, selling your business. What did that look like? Was this a door-to-door process? Like, how did you go find your people?
I would go door to door, or I would drive at night, looking for signs that were
Looking for the
partially
dark
off.
businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then I would get the phone number and call them the next day. Hey, your sign is partially off or it's completely off. Do you want us to come out and give you a quote to repair it? So that's how I would do it. And then sometimes I would go to other people that I knew, they own stores, and I would come up to them and offer them a new sign or an open sign. Before we used to sell a lot of the open neon window signs. So that
Yeah.
was one of the most sellers that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you folks, how much are you driving around here? Are you focusing on certain neighborhoods? Did you target certain neighborhoods? Were you just in your neighborhood? Like, what was your process of qualifying what market you were going to serve?
Back then it was just local, mostly, East
Okay.
LA, Montebello, all the areas around me. And then I started going farther than farther. We got to the point covering the whole LA County.
Yeah.
And then I started noticing that people were looking for other signs too, like shadow letters, cabinet signs. So I started getting into getting all the equipment and manufacture a little bit of everything, to
Yeah.
offer the service and, get more clients.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit how that sales process developed, right? Because what you do is pretty commodity based, right? Kind of it's a one time thing. Not I mean, obviously there's some level of service and customer service and quality that probably differentiates people in that industry. But for the most part, it's buying a product. Kind of price is key, I'm sure, and a lot of and probably not a ton of repeat business, right? Like you buy the sign, they keep it up until it either breaks or you need a new one.
Right.
But talk to us about how that sales process developed and what it looks like now, because I can't imagine you're still driving around looking for broken neon or no neon and kind of offering that stuff. But how are you guys getting customers now, and how did that process develop?
Well, actually, right now it's mostly people that refers to other people that they know. Right now, we're focused on big companies, the big companies that are out of state and they sell their signs here. We have a website, and right now
How
it's a
did you
little
find that
easier.
partner?
Yeah, I was
How
gonna
did you
say,
find
how did
that?
you get into that process? Because I mean,
If
you
they're
went
out of
from doing
state.
all your own little stuff to finding these big national partners that you've kind of linked up with as an installer, as a local installer. How did that process become?
Right, that becomes after Alice came into the company, we would go into the websites and look for sign companies that were in the need of local installers or subcontractors, and that's when we develop a lot on our clients like
Yeah.
them. But before Alice come in, I only had one company that I was working for, and it was a local company here in Anaheim, California, and
So Jose, your strategic partners now, these out of state partners, what you've done is you've subbed out your sales team almost, and they're subbing out their installation team because they're doing the sales for you, right?
right, they
Or are
already
you
have the
still
Yeah.
doing
There's
in-house sales?
we still do a little bit, but honestly, we don't have much time, and sometimes we make more money by subcontracting for them than having our own clients around here.
Yeah.
Are they sending you specs, and are you still manufacturing and building with some of that equipment that you had, or are they shipping you ready to install stuff?
Most of them ship us the signs ready to install. Some of them we manufacture for them where they're kind of tight on time and they're not gonna be able to manufacture. Then they send us the plants we manufacture for them. We manufacture the signs and do the whole thing from permitting to manufacture, installation, final inspection and everything. So we offer that too,
That's
the
great.
complete package.
How
And
many
so when
crews
Alex
do you
came
have?
on,
Go
yeah,
ahead, Mike.
no, go ahead, Marcel, go.
How many crews do you have running at one time in 1 week installing signs?
We have three crews of two people
That's
each.
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's
Did you
awesome.
upgrade your Toyota?
Yes. We have a good equipment now. Yeah, thank God it's been good, and we have a pretty decent equipment. We have three bucket trucks, three 45 footers, 75 footer Wilkie, and Elliott 85. So we have pretty much the equipment that we need.
You are
Are you
no
guys doing
longer a guy coming off of a bus, Jose.
right,
You
right?
you like you're driving up looking like a legitimate guy.
Upgraded,
That
upgraded.
is that's salud, adelante. That's really really cool. That's
Right,
really
right.
cool.
Yeah.
So going back to like when Alex came on board and you said you guys were kind of just searching around looking for these people. Were you guys just making cold calls? Like, hey, you guys are a sign company. We install this local area. If you need somebody, call us. That kind of thing, or is there
Yeah,
some sort of like website that guys go to kind of list when they need jobs for this kind of stuff?
that too. Yeah, there's a few websites where they list the companies, the national companies, and you go there and find the key person that you
And
need to
apply for the
contact.
jobs. Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
Alex pretty much put a package together that he would send all of the companies, with who we are, how long we've been in business, pictures of the equipment that we have, pictures of the jobs that we've done in the past, and send it to them, and then we started to get phone calls from them. Uh, you know,
How
Love
much are you
that.
guys wanting to grow from this point? So you found a new channel, a sustainable channel to keep sales coming in and to keep three crews active working. How much are you looking to grow, or have you found that sweet spot? Like this really feels good. I'm making enough. Alex is making enough. My employees are making enough, or we want a bigger slice of the pie. What does that look like for you?
uh, Probably the last 2 years we were kind of thinking of staying, not growing anymore. But I think we're already looking for a bigger building. So we do want to grow up a little bit more, especially on the manufacturing part. Our shop it's pretty small on manufacturing, and we don't take a lot of jobs that we get offered because we can't handle the
Why?
manufacturing, But a lot
Yeah.
of companies they want manufacturing also.
Is that the local stuff that you're not taking, or is that from the national stuff that they're
From a
asking to be
national,
manufactured?
yeah,
Oh,
national
interesting.
companies too. They
Okay.
they sometimes they get pretty busy and they want the whole package. They just send you
Yeah.
the specs. You prepare the plans, go to the city, get the permits, manufacture, install, final inspection, and just send them back complete. Yeah.
So do you guys still have a sales team at all, or are you just relying on that business and word of mouth to some of the local stuff?
Right. Yeah, we don't have a sales team
Wow,
anymore. Yes.
that's a
You
nice little
have
setup, man. When you,
that
I
is a
mean,
setup.
yeah, when you don't have to stress about making your own sales, right? Like you've got people doing that, like she said, people doing the sales part for you, and you've built a reputation to get some of that local business, or keep some of that local business. Going back
We
to that package
shouldn't.
that Alex put together, why were they choosing you? Right? Like you
Mm,
guys are newish, right? They don't know who you are. Why did they choose you then? Why are they still choosing you to do what they need done in your area?
One of the main things when you're a subcontractor for other companies, you gotta take their job as they're you're the main company there, because I always try to be honest. Don't lie to customers, because that's the first thing that puts you behind another people. They put you in the back. So I try to be honest, do the work right. There has been a ton of times where we underprice a job, but I still do it right. I'm not going to try to cut corners
mm,
because I'm not making money anymore. I know that's going to bring me more work, So I always
yes.
try to be an honest. I do present the quality of work that I would want to get from someone else, and I try to be
Yes.
the partner that I wanted to be for me. If I needed a partner to be
Right.
this, and that's what I'm offering them.
Yes. I think that's a really important point to highlight because so many people in our industry can very much relate to the fact that they probably underbid something, right? Especially in today's inflation. Like
Yes.
Yep.
with numbers changing so drastically by the day, I'm out on a project if I was just barely at the margin to win the project in and of itself. But it's important, Jose, to your point, that you're not just thinking about how am I going to do on this job, but how is the other jobs ahead of me going to
Right.
be? Like there's opportunity in even a project that you're belly up on. Even if you're breaking even or you're losing some, you can't just think about the project or the margin in that one job. You have to be
Right.
thinking about the relationship, especially with your sales team, with these partners that you have.
Hmm.
I might go under on this one a little bit, but there's other jobs coming down the pipe that I can make up.
Yep.
Exactly. That's very important. And to be honest, all of the sign people that started when I actually learned from them. I got experience from some other sign makers and people that are on the same business. I still see them the same way. They have their small pickup with a ladder on it and one helper. They don't they don't have the mind of expanding, growing. But let me tell you, if they have a job where they're not making any more money, they walk away from it, and sometimes it takes them weeks to come back and finish. They go and try to find another job to make money to come and finish this. And sometimes they
Yeah.
collect deposits, they spend it on something else or on another job, and they don't have it available to start the actual job that gives you the deposit. Some people I
Yeah.
even work with
Man,
them.
that is so tricky about what we do. You're not just doing one thing. Like you're not just installing signs, but you have to be a CFO, you have to
Right.
be a sales, you have to be a client relations, and that's really hard. That's a huge challenge. And of course, if you're not doing it, if you're not just decent at all of those things, you're going to fail. And that's why a
Yes.
lot of people in the industry fail. You just have to be decent.
Right.
Yep.
And getting to a place in your business where you no longer have to be decent because you're going to hire somebody or you're going to bring somebody on as a partner who's great
Right.
at that one thing.
Exactly.
Focus on the thing that you're really great at, right?
Yes.
And it sounds like that's where you are in your business because you highlighted how now your focus every day is in making sure that the quality of the installation, making sure that the sign and the experience reflects your business. It sounds like that's what you're doing.
Right, right. And I always tell my employees, if there is ever an issue on anything, do not argue with customers or anybody. Let me handle. So you think that's
Mm.
going on the wrong direction, then just stop, walk away, let me handle it. I don't want them to get into fighting with customers. Even Alex, I told him sometimes he complains about a client being rude or whatever. And you know what? I can't handle this anymore. You take over, So I always try to treat people same way I wanted to be treated, So
The golden rule. That's my rule, baby. That I
Yes.
follow the golden rule,
Right.
even for as much as I might not want to treat them.
exactly.
Right.
Right.
I just stick by that rule.
We know,
Jose,
we know
what
how
would you say?
Maricela feels about some tough homeowners.
I'm a scorned woman, Mike, but I've
Check
learned
out
my
episodes
lesson.
31, 32, 33, 34, 35. No,
That's right.
Jose, what would you say your biggest talent is? What would you say is your thing? Like, I'm really good at this part. As a person, I'm really good at this.
As a person, I'm a really patient person. I can handle a lot of stuff. I can handle a angry person yelling at my face, and I won't go off on them. And maybe thanks to that, I feel like I attract people. When I meet people that we're doing business with, I feel like they like my personality, and they wanted to do business with me again. So I think I'm good at that. So
No, that's great. That's great. That's a huge talent to have, an enormous value that you bring. That's wonderful in terms of how you are able to attract sales, attract clients, the right clients, and manage your employees, right? Because you have to be really patient in order to navigate all the different personalities that you're working with and working for.
right.
Well, and maintaining relationships too, right? I mean, that's key in maintaining those relationships because, like you said, one little blow up, one little fight, one little argument, like one little hiccup in a project can kind of ruin a relationship
Yes.
that's bringing you income for a long time.
Right.
Especially in your business,
Yep.
right? I mean, somebody doing a home remodel can have it out with that homeowner because that homeowner is probably not going to come back and give even if the remodel goes great, they're not remodeling 7 more homes in the next 4 years,
Exactly.
right? Like
Right.
it's just that one.
Right,
So
right.
whereas in your case, I mean, these partners that you have and these people you're doing work for are
Right.
constantly bringing you business
Right.
week after week. So
Exactly.
it's important to, like you said, kind of keep that level head and have patience and maintain those relationships. For
Right.
sure.
Jose, do you feel like you found your thing? So you were a truck driver, you owned
what's next?
the neighborhood carniceria, Los Compadres. Shout out to Los Compadres. Do you feel like you found your thing?
I think I did because honestly, the reason why I sold the store. I was kind of burned out. I was tired already of being 7 days on the business because the store is one of those business where you have to constantly be there. You have to be watching everything, and I was kind of tired already. I mean, I had money, but I couldn't go out on vacation for longer than 2 weeks because then you're getting phone calls and all this. You come back and there's a mess. Sometimes the employees are fighting in between them, and So
Thank God you're patient.
So it's kind of burned out, and I saw the opportunity I got a pretty good offer on the business. Actually, it was the property that they bought because the business we closed down. They didn't want the business. They bought the whole package, but they said, you know what, we want the property, so you can close the business and do whatever you want with it. And I just turned in the
So you owned the commercial
Property,
space where the store was at?
Yes, I bought that 10 years after I run the business. So, yeah, thank God I had the
Was that
opportunity.
your first real estate investment?
Yes, that was my first real estate investment. And then I 1031 from
Jose,
So did you
that.
turn that
like-
into? I was gonna say, I was just gonna say, did you take that money and invest more in real estate, or how did that?
I 1031
How did that work out for you?
Talk
Is that
about
how
that.
you got into it?
Yeah, I 1031 from that property into a 10-unit apartment complex here in East LA. And then from there, I fixed it, refinanced. I got $500,000.
Yeah, I mean, why take that money and have a vacation and buy cool stuff? Like, why not? Yeah,
Right,
Not Jose. Not Jose.
My goal is to retire at 55, which is 4 years from now. So I'm not trying to be rich and spend the rest of my life working hard. oh, I want to just have enough to live decently and
Yeah.
enjoy it.
So at the beginning of our conversation, you said that now you're like a real estate investor. Is that what we're talking about? So you sold the carniceria, the lot, the store itself. You turned around, you bought 12 units,
10 units,
fixed it up, and you flipped it?
No, I
I
just refinanced and pulled some money out of it to buy a couple of properties in Bakersfield, California.
Hey, don't talk about Bakersfield. That's my barrio right there. That's my barrio. So now we own real estate in Los Angeles. We own real estate in Bakersfield. Are you doing more investments?
I sold it already. I bought more here in LA. So thank God right now I have 25 doors here in LA. So
you guys, like this is...
but let's go back to that. So you sell the property, or you sell the carniceria. Where did that mindset come? Who? I mean, especially coming here at 17 from Mexico, right? Like that's not the typical mindset of that person, right? And I'm not trying to like put people in a box or stereotype at all, but that's just the truth, right? I mean, like
it is.
It wouldn't be the mindset for anybody at that age, for most people that age, right? Even born in this country. But like, where did that come from?
Where did that come from?
Why? Why did you do that? Like, what was the thought process?
Like I said, I always had in my mind that I would want to have my own business, and I don't want to retire at a company, working for a company till 62 and then got my retirement. But
were their parents a small business owner in Mexico? Like, how were you influenced to think that way though, Jose? Because to Mike's point, while that is the American dream, that is an immigrant story, it's not a lot of immigrant stories. It's not a lot of American stories.
Well, it
when
takes
you're born
discipline.
And raised.
And I know
that takes a level of discipline and
pain.
Trust. Yeah.
It's not, because I even try to partner up with my own people, even family members. They don't believe in you. Instead of saying, yeah, come on, do it, you can do it. Oh no, this is going to happen to you. Oh, I seen this guy, he got into the same thing, and look at him, how he's doing that now. And
go get a real job.
Right. So, but since I was little child, I remember selling paletas with one of those carritos in Mexico.
Yeah, and horchata.
Wow, yeah. And I was a shoe shiner. I was shining the shoes for people when I was 12 years old. I don't know. I always had it in my mind that I wanted to do my own thing. So,
Jose, it's just a God-given talent. That's just you've got you were just born with that. It wasn't inherited. It wasn't shown to you. You are living out your destiny, your God-given talent. You were born to be this successful.
Right.
And I love how you frame it in a way like my success. I want to retire at 55, which is 4 years away from now. I'm not trying to be rich. Like, you've set your own terms. I don't need to be driving a Lamborghini. Right. Maybe you do. But like, I just want to retire at a certain age and be able to live the rest of my life. I love how you've set those terms up for yourself, because a lot of times it's so easy to get caught up in what somebody else's success looks like. Yes. And if I don't get that, then I'm not successful. But you really are on your own terms here. And holy smoke, you have 25, you said 25 doors?
Yes, I have 25 doors.
That's it.
And
that's your retirement.
And that's all I'm going to need to live decently, I've seen people that are on real estate, they own hundreds of doors, but I see how they live, and I'm like, I don't want to be them. Owning millions and millions of dollars, you won't be able to spend that money, and you're not enjoying it. You're always, when they wake up early, they're already thinking, what am I going to do today? I need to make more money. I don't want 200 doors. I want 1,000 doors. But what? What for? You're not going to be able to spend all that money anyways. And that's just going to be a big problem for your family. Once you're gone, they're going to be fighting for it. And, so I said, you know what? Yeah. I don't want to be one of them. So I just, want to take it easy. I worked all of my life since I was little, and I worked hard enough to come to this point and said, you know what? I'm going to just take it easy from now. I love
that he says it's taking it easy is owning and operating 3 different businesses, 25 doors.
Dude,
Yeah, just
dude.
taking it easy.
Right.
So much life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jose. Since you put retirement out there, what's your dream vacation? What's a dream vacation? Because Jesus, you said 2 weeks isn't enough. Like for so many people in our industry, we can't get a week. Like
Right.
leaving the business
days.
for a week
Yeah.
is like, goddamn. I'm like, something's gonna happen. What's your dream vacation? What does relaxation look like?
I want to be able to go around the world and meet places and meet people. Every time I see
No destination, no time frame.
right,
Huh?
yeah.
Just go.
What is that? I don't understand.
You should have seen the list that I have. I seen videos of places that are pretty nice. I've been writing them down, and I want to go there. I want to go there. So I'm keeping my list. When I turn 55,
He's got a
I'm gonna
whole
be
list.
okay. Let's start going through the list now.
Check them
Yeah.
off. Yep. Here we go.
Yeah.
Bucket list.
Love
I
that.
love it. Love it.
Well, let's get into Maricela's favorite part of the show, the rapid
Yes.
fire. She's
Yes.
going to give you some questions.
Yeah, so-
and I'll let her frame it. Yeah.
So, what I mentioned at the very beginning of our conversation is that before we even started recording, is our mission is to tell the stories of people in our industry through this podcast, through this platform, but also hopefully it'll be a resource for anyone listening or watching.
Right.
So at the end of every episode, we just go through the same 4 questions with any one of our guests to see what are you doing that works for you, so that hopefully someone listening can be like, dude, I'm going to try that. That sounds really interesting. And they're better for having spent the time listening to our podcast. So it's 4 really easy questions. First question, Jose, what is one resource you cannot do your business without? What is one thing that your business uses that you can't survive if that resource goes away?
Well, good employees. Your employees have to be on your side all the time. So you got to treat them good. I always try to treat my employees as I wanted to be treated. I always do that. Because, sometimes you treat them bad.
But wait, Jose, is there something you do to find those good employees? Because, all of us are going to talk about
Yeah, we
labor
all want good
shortages.
employees, right? Yeah.
All of us want good employees.
Yeah.
How do you go about finding good employees?
It's really hard, but
And keeping them.
right. It's really hard to find them. But once you find them, like I said, you got to be nice to them. You gotta treat them good, and you got to show them that you care about them as a person, not just as an employee. Help them on whatever you can, and treat them good. That's the main thing.
What's the thing you've done that's been the most resourceful in finding the right people? Is it like making an ad on La Opinion? Is it walking Home Depot and finding people that what's been the most influential way to find your good employees, your best employees?
You know what? The good employees that I have, most of them hear from other people talking about me, so they wanted to work for me. I remember this guy saying, yo quería trabajar contigo desde hace mucho tiempo. I was like, oh, okay, that means people has been talking good about me, so, but yeah, and it's hard. If you do, like you said, ads or go to Home Depot or whatever, that doesn't work. 100% of the ones that come in to apply for a job, none of them stayed with us. I don't know, but people don't, in these days, they don't want to work. They want to more.
Are those referrals coming from your own employees or from just word of mouth inside the industry?
What about inside the industry? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So your rule of treating people that you want, the way you want to be treated, that golden rule, isn't just serving your sales and your clientele process. It's serving the retention for employees and the recruitment of other employees. Right. I love that. Jose, second question. What's the best advice that someone has given you?
Well, the best advice, I remember this guy that he was also in the sign industry. And like I said, he always told me that you need to watch for whoever you're working. He's like, you got to make sure that you come through whatever you offer them and treat treat your customers good, and make sure you make that person or that company look good, like if it was you. So always keep that in mind. And he told me the same thing. He's like, I've been through jobs where I had to lose money, and I took the loss, but I kept my partners. I keep working with them. So
Yeah. Excellent. Third question: is there a book or a podcast that you love? Is there a book or a podcast, something that you read, something that you listen to that you're like, dude, that encourages me, that gives me life, I'm better for it?
You know what? I don't have one in mind. I don't think I have one in mind right now.
Okay, that's fair.
He lives his own book and his own
Yeah.
podcast.
Dude, Jose, you are a book.
Yeah.
Like that's what you need to do as you travel the world. You need to write your memoir, like an immigrant story, like si se puede, el dicho es, like whatever it is. Like you need to write a book, and then somebody later on will be like, oh, this guy named Jose Almanza wrote a book, and I read it, and that's been my favorite book.
100%.
Last question. So you're a lot of things. You've owned a lot of different businesses. You're a patient man. Is there a habit that you have that you keep for yourself to fill yourself up so that you could pour into others? Is there a habit? Is there like you work out every day, you read every day, you meditate every day, you pray every day, you go drink coffee alone? Like, is there something you do? You eat a taco every day. What is it just for yourself?
The main thing is I prayed every day. First thing when I wake up, I thank God for giving me another day. I stand up, me persino, and said, you know what? Thank you, God. Forgive me for whatever I did wrong yesterday. Help me to be a better person today. And I will do my best to do the right thing today. And if you need me to be helpful for blessing someone through me, I wanted to be that instrument. I'm open to be there.
Amen.
Yes.
So good. Mike, I don't know if you're keeping track here, but I think it's the last 5 guests that we've had have that. The last 5 guests that we've had have that very same connection. I do too. That's incredible. I love that. Jose, it was a privilege to get to hear your story today. So inspirational on so many different levels. I'm fired up. I honestly came in dragging my feet today, and I'm fired up. You gave me a huge dose of help.
I feel a little less than right now because I haven't owned any businesses. So I got
Mike,
Buddy still over there with at least 1, and Jose's got like 5. Here I am.
Si se puede, come on. We all can do it. It's just doable. We can do it.
Si se puede. Go buy some real estate, Mike. Go buy some real estate. Let's go get on Zillow.
Right.
Yeah. Jose, it's been awesome. Before we go, we want to give you a shot to let everybody know where to find you guys, how to get a hold of you, whether that's online, email, phone number, whatever it is.
Yeah, my direct phone number is 323-707-2163. We're located in Montevallo, and our website is www.gjsigns.com. If you guys need any installation service, whatever you guys need on the sign business or real estate, you guys want to sell or buy, let me know.
I'm just gonna send you my money. I'm just gonna send you my money, and you can, and I'll let you do it. Yep.
And come on, Raza, si
Total
se
Kirk
puede.
Gibson
All the
moment.
Latinos, we can do it.
Si se puede.
Everybody can do it.
Si se puede.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jose.
Jose, been awesome, man. We appreciate it. Stay safe out there, and we look forward to catching up in the future.
Big hug for you.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Jose.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you had a good time, be sure to hit that subscribe button to get all the latest episodes. And if you had a really good time, leave a review to let us know what you thought. Until then, go gather some crazy stories on your job sites, and we'll see you next time on So, You Want to Be a Contractor.